Hi everybody. So after my last video where I showed the Lensbaby OMNI flare wands, I had a couple requests to actually go through the rest of the wands and show you guys what the differences are and what they all look like. And as I have all the expansion packs, I figured I'd go through and just do a quick show and tell so you guys could see what was going on. So just as a recap, I am a Lensbaby ambassador, and so that means that y'all get a little discount if this is something that you think is really cool and interesting and you'd like to purchase some Lensbaby stuff. Feel free, whatever, no pressure. If you do, there's a link in my bio. It has my discount code. So if you don't know what the OMNI system is, as a photographer, if you're not a photographer, you're gonna be like, what? But as a photographer, you'll kind of understand what's going on, I'm sure. So essentially it has these metal pieces that actually screw onto your lens. You can see it has that lip that has the, the part that you screw on. And then you can attach different wands onto it and hold it onto your lens. Now, why this is cool is because a lot of photographers maybe shoot through glass a little bit, but what ends up happening is that you end up having to hold the glass in front of the lens of the camera while you're trying to do stuff, and it just causes a lot of shenanigans. The OMNI system takes care of that, and it does that by making it so that you can let go of the glass and focus on focusing or controlling or hitting the shutter or doing all those things so that you don't have to feel like an octopus while you're trying to do things. And shooting through glass is a really cool technique. A lot of my Instagram feed is shot through glass, so if you want to take a look, you can take a look and see examples through there. So all sorts of different things. So one thing I wanted to show was what comes in each pack, and also what all the different wands do. So if you've never gotten an OMNI anything before, you would get the original OMNI filter system, which comes with one of these rings. You either would get the 49 to 58 or the 62 to 82, okay? And it just depends on your lens which one would go on there, which one fits and makes the most sense. I got both because I got lenses that do all sorts of millimeters, so it just made sense for me to have both. And then you'll get these three wands. So the first one I'm going to show you is called the Crystal Seahorse, and it does effects like this. So it has a scalloped edge, which means that you can get really crazy kind of effects, and always depending on how you hold it to it, right? There's different kind of things. If you want something to happen just on the edge, or if you want something to overtake like this where it just fractures the frame. So this one's a Crystal Seahorse. Depending on where you're at in it, depends on how it happens, because it has a skinny end and a wider end. So pretty cool. Looks like this. The next one that you would get in the original one is called the Stretch Glass. And the Stretch Glass, see, it's kind of like Funhouse Mirror-y. When you look at it, right, straight up, it actually has this curve to it, right? So you can press it flat against things, or you can put the curved side against things. You can also curve it, right, while you're looking at it, so things stretch out different ways. See that? Isn't that wild? Woo! Funhouse mirror kind of stuff. And they all attach to this OMNI piece with this metallic magnet ball, right? So that would be me on my lens. I didn't pull out my camera for this, but you can see. The last one is called the Rainbow Film, which when you look at it straight up, you're like, what? Okay, it's a little plastic piece of film. What's that do? But when you look at it on there, it does some crazy kind of stuff, right? It essentially just sends these little rainbow flares throughout your image, which is a little bit more subtle, I think, than the other ones, because the other ones really fracture the frame, but this one's pretty cute. Okay, so that is what you would get with the original OMNI system, right? And so the next thing that would happen is, if you choose, you can decide to get one of the expansion packs. So The one that I'm going to talk about first is called the Crystal Expansion Pack, which just adds these 3 crystals onto the situation, okay? 3 more crystals. So the first one is called the Crystal Sphere, which looks like this, and you can get like, you can kind of go at it kind of from the point and get like really, really fractured, like, ooh, kaleidoscopy stuff. You can go from the side and get kind of more prism-y kind of things. Cool? Yeah, cool. The next one is a regular prism, which I would say is the most traditional way that most people shoot through glass. Like if you think about shooting through glass, you think about prisms. You think about people playing with prisms and fracturing the edges of the frames. And usually they fracture a portion of the frame, right? They fracture the top or the bottom. Like if you look, you know what I mean? Kind of like that or whatever. Not like what I'm doing right now, but you can also play with it in a lot of different ways. Like right now you're seeing my ceiling. How interesting. Okay, and then the last version is called the Scalloped Window. Okay, I think the Scalloped Window is a little similar to the Seahorse, but it's a little different, right? Here's the Seahorse, here's a Scalloped Window, okay? So when you look at them from the side, the Seahorse has a little bit like, it sticks out on one end and is flat on the other. You see that difference? Scalloped Window is flat completely. So if you just shoot through the middle part of it, it's just flat. It's the edges where things get wild. And you can kind of move the edges where you want, depending on what you want to focus on what you want to fracture and what you want to keep in place. So it's maybe not as like, I don't know, maybe not as in your face as some of the other options, but I think that the little scalloped edge on it is really cool and can definitely work. It can definitely work to your favor when you're doing portraits and things like that. Okay, the last option, which honestly is my favorite one, and this is the one that I use the most out of anything, is called the Color Expansion Pack. And the Color Expansion Pack comes with a lot of almost kind of random stuff. You're like, okay, random, what does that mean? So it comes with 2 color crystals. You can see that they're different just by looking at them. And as you can see, they have color inside of them. So if you've been wondering how I get those flares of color in my work, hello, there they are, okay? And then, so that's one, and this one is a little bit more flat and a little bit more regular shaped. You can see I have like scratches in it and stuff because I use it all the time. This one is more of a scallop, okay? And then when you look at this one, it also does weird stuff depending on what's going on. So now, obviously, one thing that we really should talk about too is like, okay, does it matter what kind of lens you use with these? So I have played with these with wide angle, with normal lenses, and with telephoto. So wide angle, like in the 28, my wide angle is a 28 millimeter. I actually like these a lot better if you use more telephoto, more like 85 lenses. The reason why is because the wide angle, you really see the wand, almost like you like see the edges of the wand, and with telephoto, the wand kind of goes out of focus. So it's up to you on what you want to do. But also in the Color Expansion Pack, you have these other things called, they're called crisscross rainbows, and they come on this little wand piece that you can actually just replace which one. So I'm gonna make it so you can see it a little closer. So it has a little screw on it, and you can just replace them and put whichever ones you want, because you have like a blue one, and then there's other colors too. So there's like a pinky, there's like a orangey yellow one, there's like a that one's kind of purpley, and then there's the blue one, which I love playing with. So what these ones do is they kind of just obscure the frame in some places, but then where the crisscrosses are gets all sorts of these metallic kind of vibes. And if you play with it, there's like a less reflective side and there's a more reflective side, and the super reflective sides put like all sorts of colors in what you're trying to do. So pretty cool, right? But in addition to that, they also have other stuff too. These were actually the reason why I bought these. And I bought them because when I was first doing my thesis work for my MFA, I was literally holding colored glass in front of my lens, just colored sheets of glass and colored filters, and I was getting irritated because I was trying to hold more than one color. Well, they just have straight up colored gels, right? So blue, there's a yellow one, there's a red one, orange, green. There's this like kind of gives it a little bit more of a rainbowy, another like kind of rainbow thing, but also like more of like a distortion kind of situation. So plain ones, and then they also have reflective ones that aren't with the crisscross. So the reflective ones that aren't with the crisscross, you're really just playing with those reflections, right? So this one's purple, has a little bit of yellow in it. See what it's doing? Woo, you can see the back of my studio. There's also like this kind of yellowy, fiery red one. This one's kind of a bluey, yep, and flicks to that red. This one has pink in it. Did I show the straight up blue one? Yeah, I showed those ones. So pink, purple, blue, red. There's like a dark purple and a light purple. And now one thing that you guys maybe haven't thought of, or something that maybe you haven't done, right, that I think is cool, is that you don't have to use just one thing at once, right? So these have multiple of these magnet pieces on them. So you may like put, like let's say, you may put the color crystal on the bottom, right? And you turn it to where you want it to be. But then you might put the color wash, like this color, this flat out color on top, or have it slide to a different spot of where you would like that to be, right? And so you can mix the wands together and mix the colors together and do all sorts of different things. So that's really the reason why I use this, to be honest, because like I said at the beginning, I'm not an octopus, okay? I only have two hands and I'm clumsy anyway, right? I actually already shattered one of these, this guy, and had to call and ask them to please send me a new one because it's the one I use the most. And of course I was walking down the street and I thought I attached it to the magnet and I didn't, and I just dropped it on the ground. So you want to make sure that you're really paying attention when you're doing this kind of stuff anyway. But like I said, I'm a clumsy person, and so me holding onto a crystal and trying to focus and trying to make sure I'm actually getting the shot meant that I was missing a lot of moments that really I didn't want to miss, right? And so I just thought that it was a good thing to just show you guys like the different options. Are all of these right for everybody, or is this the right thing for you if you like really straight up photographic, like very clean stuff? No, this is not for you if you're like the most clean photographer ever, obviously, right? But if you like things that are a little bit different, you like playing with stuff, maybe you want to play with portraits a little bit more, maybe you want to add a little bit of spice to your still lifes and stuff like that, I think the OMNI system is pretty cool. If you didn't get a chance to see, I went through the flare pack and what the different flares look like on my last video that I posted last week. So if you didn't get a chance, you can scroll back and look at those so you can see those. I would just recommend, kind of maybe picking one pack or picking one or two and then just seeing what you can do with it, and just kind of playing around. So in any case, I hope that this helps, and I will see you guys around for the next video.